things I wish to share is that sometimes as an Imam we tend to visit people who are in great difficulty. One of the greatest difficulties for a human life is to see one of his close ones passing away. Whilst I visited the person that is severely sick and in his last or in her last stages of life and taking those last breaths, one of the things that comes to my mind is the regret that the person must feel. That while standing over her, encouraging them to say La ilaha illallah, that if an individual, when he reaches that stage of life, then what is the regret that goes through his mind? That what I did not do with Allah. And as a son that is standing by the mother, that the regret that the son may have towards the mother, and the husband towards his wife, and the daughter towards the mother. We take things for granted, and the life that we have we take for granted, and the moments that we've got we think they will last forever. But Allah Azza wa Jal, upon His call, we will return. So it's important for us to ponder over the moments that we have and the people that we have around us, and to give them the respect and dignity that which they deserve and is their right. And inshallah ask Allah to make it a time of ibrah, a time of lesson from which we learn from. Today we wish to go through, because the bab is of parents, it's another hadith, and this is narrated by Abi Burda أنه شهد ابن عمر. Abi Burda, he says that I saw Ibn Umar radiyallahu anhu, ورجل يماني, and it was a man from Yemen, يطوف بالبيت, that they were going and circulating the house of Allah. حمل أمه وراء ظهره. This man, this Yemeni man, he was carrying his mother on his back. يقول إني لها بعيرها المذلل إن أذعرت ركابها لم أذعر. He says these words and he's chanting while he's carrying her. So he's carrying the mother on his shoulders, and whilst he's carrying her, he's going around the house of Allah, circulating it, doing the tawaf, and he says these words. He says, I am a humble camel to my mother. I am a humble camel to my mother. That if her camel stops serving her, then she has me to carry her. So these are words, and sometimes we read these narrations and we think to ourselves that it was a story. But rather, one of the things we should concentrate over is that the level of standard that has fallen, that the standard of the people back in the time of the Prophet ﷺ and the companions, and how we are with our parents, and how much do we bear, and how much of patience we have. That this man, he carries and he chants that I am a humble camel to my mother, and whilst carrying her, if your camel stops serving you, then I shall carry you, or you have a service, and that is me to carry you. ثم قال, then it was said, Ya Ibn Umar, aturani jazaytuha. Then this man, Yemeni man, he said to Ibn Umar, that do you see that I have fulfilled my right to my mother? قال لا ولا بزفرة واحدة. He says, no, you haven't, not even a pain or a groan of pain that she goes through upon giving you birth. We know the fact that when the mother gives birth, that there are cramps that go through her body, and there is this pain that travels through the top of her head to the beneath of her feet upon giving birth to a child. And that second of pain, that you have not fulfilled the right of that, even although you've carried her. ثم طاف and then he goes round and circulates the house. Ibn Umar فَأَتَى الْمَقَامِ, and then they come to this maqam Ibrahim, this golden box that we have where we have the footprints of Ibrahim alayhi salam. They come to that stage. فَصَلَّى رَكَعَتَيْنِ, and then they pray 2 units of the prayer. ثُمَّ قَالَ يَا ابْنَ أَبِي مُوسَى إِنَّ كُلَّ رَكَعَتَيْنِ تُكَفِّرَانِ مَا أَمَامَهُمَا. O Ibn Abi Musa, every 2 rak'ah make up for everything that has happened before them. Meaning the fact that the extent of seeking Allah's forgiveness is the fact that I will be standing and praying these 2 rak'ahs, and any shortcomings that I had whilst doing my tawaf around the house of Allah, and if you go deeper than that, any shortcomings I had whilst carrying my mother around the house of Allah, oh Allah, forgive me for that. So the standards of the believers and the mu'min, the Muslims, they should be set very high, and the patience and the bearance and the tolerance should be something that also needs to be set high, so that we are able to fulfill the haqq and the rights of our elders as well as our parents. And I ask Allah to grant us the tawfiq and the understanding, and to overlook our shortcomings towards our parents. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين.